Fast forward, any come out China so age politics are very podcast reception because big headlines. The Jamre na yedi bi exumu ewaha. Nidi bi yahu braksi mu se ene ADD kanya. Mr. Say which must subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share na afofra account so inside into me NKB. Onia here na will leave a comment constructively under the comment section. Now ye boy evra ye how we cinema. Tanko computer director Emma elections and IT Emma NDC ama ikono otimi ede aba abontin kyerɛ sɛ omo atimi asset up collation center omo ede aba abɛhwɛ NPP ama ikono presidential primaries eba so yi na omo akyerɛ sɛ etwa onyanko ho na etwa duam nso ampa esenti no omo hwɛ ema pepeyo atimi afanituma pa efra na flyer ni bi na yetimi edi a project ato screen so edi amount na say no na can was NDC set up Collation Center to monitor NPP's presidential primaries tango computer sanso na we ni free hon so na ye kuyensem fufuro mu so a NPP amayiko no edi sombo etimi abo NDC amayiko no se so national securities edi interrupt voting process Ebaso Yamboa, Eneduya, only a shock say, Yambo Ingra in Siminim, not Yanko, and Edia. But that's a Wajamre, or Hashan, as one say, I'll say, age politics are very.
Into the NPP's allegations against the NDC, they allege that the NDC, they are plotting to disrupt Saturday's election using the national security. Listen to the NPP's national organizer, Harry Nanabachi, speaking on the midday news on Joy News.
I can confirm that all the materials are on its way to the various regions, the various constituencies, and the voting centers as well. For purposes of security, Ghana Police is safeguarding all the electoral materials to the various destinations.
Right. In terms of candidates
and non-uniform men to be part of our processes to some various voting centers to cause problems and give this whole exercise a bad name. We have alerted the Ghana Police that we do not want to condone any intrusion from such deployment. The only body mandated to handle the security of this electoral process is the Ghana Police. And that is it. We are not going to compromise on that. So we are telling anybody, if you have been deployed, if you are not a police person, if you are not under the instructions of Ghana Police, it means we are not part of this. And even the policemen, they are going to be well uniformed, their name tags will be seen clearly, identification public, and we know their command centers right from the national to the region to the various districts and constituencies. So we will have all the command centers. So once again, let me repeat, Ghana Police is the only body mandated to handle the security of the presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Nobody is allowed to come close. We will not want to entertain any intrusion from anybody.
Join me now is Mustafa Bande. He's Deputy General Secretary for the NDC. I also have Harana Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. I appreciate your time on the pulse, gentlemen. I'd like to start with Mustafa Bande. How do you respond to allegations by the NPP that there's a grand scheme by the NDC to use officials of national security to disrupt the upcoming NPP primaries? Mr. Grande, you have some need for us to hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now.
Yeah, I'm saying that this is very dismissive, but it just reflects the nature of the NPP and how they do their politics. You are aware that if it comes to reorganization, it is the NPP that has a track record of violence, even within themselves. If it is not acid, it will be a knife or it will be a poison. We know them for that. Now, these are the very people who have sought the assistance of the police for the protection of their election. How come that they must necessarily draw government and the NDC and everybody into it. It doesn't make sense. They themselves are a bunch of hooligans who are gathering for an election, and they have such tendencies.
Allegedly, Haruna, Mustafa. Mustafa, make your point. Unfortunately, I hear that due to internet connectivity, Mustafa Gbande's Zoom has frozen, but I still have with me Haruna. Haruna, you've just heard bits of that allegation made by Mustafa. He's dismissing your claims that there's a grand scheme to use national security to disrupt the upcoming presidential primaries. Your response?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good afternoon to our cherished viewers and my good brother, Mustafa. It's obvious that Mustafa will say what he has just said, but I think Mustafa has not got the time to study the history of his party very well. He's talking about violence and that we are known for that. You know that Francis Essiem was in the NDC. She was whipped with horse whips. Their national chairman, Obeda Samoa, was whipped in Koforidua. Big Zidane, their deputy general secretary, then was whipped. Horse whips. They've beaten a lot of people in their party. And then Guzitano and Co. And all of them, they had to leave the party and come back. So if he has forgotten the history of his party in terms of violence, then he has to learn that from me today. I also remind him that when it comes to issues of violence, they should not be talking about it because he who lives in glass house doesn't throw stones. His own flag bearer then, now president of the republic, indicated that when it comes to violence, nobody can unleash violence more than them because they are the paramount use of violence. And that is what there is known in the cycle of politics in Ghana today. Well, the national organizer of the party has indicated with what we have picked, and certainly we are not going to entertain any national security operative in our elections, in any of the voting centers. Even if you are a police officer who has been assigned to the national security operatives and you are not assigned to this particular work, you are not invited into this particular election supervision.
But Haruna, you would have to agree with me that indeed the NPP must at least substantiate their claims. What is this intel you have that makes you allude to the fact that there's a grand scheme by the NDC to use national security?
Have you ever heard a security matter being substantiated out there until investigations are concluded?
But then you're you're out there. You're already out there. You're in the public space. You're in the media. You're talking about it. If you're talking about it, it means you're opening the floodgates for us to question the basis of your allegation. You agree?
You are not a security head for me to provide you with the security. I only inform you because you carry the news that this is what has been alleged. And when that is confirmed by the security operatives, you get it as a news again. Because investigation is not done in the public space. The investigations are done by the appropriate officers.
So have you officially given this intel to the police as a party?
Yes, we have done so. We have done so. We have officially given this intel to the security, that is the police, to handle that particular matter.
Mustafa is back with us. And
we again caution that we don't need any of them at our venue because they have not been invited into these particular activities.
I see. Mustafa is back with us, so stay with me, Haruna. Mustafa, you were just making the point. We've just been hearing from the NPP that they have intel of your grand scheme to use national security operatives to disrupt the elections tomorrow. And you were just defending that point. Make your point.
Look, some of their flag bearers in this contest are notorious of this fact. Allegedly. That when it comes to their past records will tell you that they drink and enjoy violence. Now, for you to come and sit on TV, allege that government is seeking to deploy national security, and when you are asked of particulars, you are pontificating and saying that investigations are done in camera. I think Mohammed should go and say this to the Marines. Let me dismiss their allegation, reaffirm that the police, who they have contacted, who they are working with to protect them in their election, It's the same police that protected all of us in all the by-elections we have had, including the December election. They should stay national security out of their confusion, stay clean, and focus on their election. I think the election is so important. I have to say that they are looking for ways to draw in government. Nobody has time for the NPP. Their entire party and the exercise they are going to do tomorrow is of no benefit and of no importance to this country. These are the very people who came together to milk and defraud this country.
Allegedly.
These are the very people who, in our minds, are very clear of the kind of pain they've caused the people of Ghana. Unremorsefully, they are going together to.
Oh dear. Mustafa, we seem to have lost you again. And this time we'll have to raise him on phone. I'm sure my technical team, they're working on that to raise him on phone so that he can make his point. Haruna, you're still choosing us here on the Pulse. The New Patriotic Party has accused the National Democratic Congress of planning to use national security agencies to disrupt Saturday's election. The allegations are coming amid tensions as the party, over 200 delegates, head to the polls to pick a flybearer. 5 persons, including the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is in the race, as well as Kennedy Ejapong and other key individuals, especially the former Education Minister, Dr. Ǎccǔsě Ejitchum, is all in the race to lead the NPP into the 2028 election. The Election Commission has already told us that they are fully prepared to deliver a credible and transparent election tomorrow. Deputy Director of Research at the Electoral Commission, Fred Tete, says the Commission has issued a firm warning to its officials who will be supervising the election to be professional and exhibit high levels of integrity.
They've attested to the fact that the materials, the ballot papers, the albums, key items that will be needed for the elections have reached destination, and distribution tomorrow to the polling centers will be completed, if God willing. I would like also to touch on the personnel that will be manning the centers. Specifically, as I've been saying, this is an election that we don't need huge numbers of officials, and therefore, with directive of the Electoral Commission, what has been done is to restrict the personnel, the polling officials, specifically to our district election officers, which is the district electoral officer, their deputies, and then the secretaries. They are going to be the officials at the polling centers tomorrow. In terms of the key arrangement as to the setup, the arrangement has been to have the polling, as you know, starting from 7 in the morning and ending at 2 p.m. In the afternoon, to allow for enough time to be able to count and then announce the results and then a declaration. Per the structure, we're going to have 333 polling centers across the 16 regions. Some of the centers have been split. That's why maybe we're thinking of 267 constituencies and why 333. So we have some centers that have been split to make room for the numbers involved. The total number of delegate, as I may say, from the album that we receive from the party is 211,800 plus. So those are the numbers that will be voting tomorrow. I would like to say that the Commission is highly optimistic that these elections will be smooth, seamless, and successful tomorrow. The other thing that I would like also to say is that we've afforded per the procedure for elections in Ghana, agents are allowed to be through and through the processes, from the printing of the ballot, through the distribution from the head office to the region, and from the region to the district, and then to the constituencies. They've been involved. And therefore, as at now, we've not received any complaint from any of the 5 contesting candidates. Nonetheless, the Commission would like to caution our officers as well that they should attend to this national duty with integrity, fairness, and in a transparent manner to ensure a peaceful process, as I said.
Well, let's get a feel of the mood of delegates across the country. What exactly are they looking for in a candidate? Our regional correspondents are on the ground and have been speaking to delegates about what will sway their votes tomorrow. Join me now is Nanaya Aljima, because we're going first to the NPP's most foremost stronghold, and that is the Ashanti region. Nana, you are on the ground. What's the atmosphere like in the region?
So the region is very calm. Delegates for this election are ready to cast their ballots tomorrow. As it has been largely publicized, about 36,000 delegates are expected to vote in from 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. I spoke to the EC today earlier, and according to them, they are ready to ensure that this process is free, fair, and transparent for all the aspirants and their polling agents who will be sent to all the polling stations within the Ashanti region. Speaking to delegates, they are prepared for tomorrow's election, and they are expecting that the process will become free, fair, and very transparent, so that after the election, the NPP can forge a unity and ensure that the next election, the NPP emerge victorious. So things are very calm in the Ashanti region. The 36,000 delegates in the region are all ready for tomorrow's election. According to the EC, they are also ready to ensure a fair process.
And really, what are delegates looking for in the candidates?
So delegates, since the NPP is not in power, they are in opposition, delegates are expectant of a flag bearer who will be able to unite the ranks of the party and ensure that they work towards snatching victory in the next election from the National Democratic Congress. Now, according to them, they believe that whoever wins, the others would have to go by what they signed in the Peace Pact, come together, unite, and with one force, they work towards ensuring that they unseat the National Democratic Congress. Mind you, today I've been able to touch base with all the camps of these aspirants in the Ashanti region, especially those with offices in the Ashanti region. I started my tour at the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia office in the Ashanti region. I met some administrative staff and some supporters at the party, at the office of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and according to them, they have a few preparations they will have to finalize today to ensure that tomorrow they go in already. But even if beyond what they are doing, they believe that they are still ready for tomorrow's election. Just a few patch-ups that they will have to do to put their people on the ground to ensure that the police they ensure that this process goes through successfully. Also, I touched base with the camp of Dr. Zedichum, who has a regional office in the Ashanti region, and also they have some men in there trying to get their polling agents and all other people who are supposed to be at the polling stations on the ground. They are also about finalizing their preparations for tomorrow. So they are also anticipating victory for their candidates, especially being one of the candidates with base in the Ashanti region, and believe that from their Bosumtwi base, they will be able to influence other delegates in the Ashanti region to vote their candidates. And also they believe that the candidate holds the power to unite the party for the next election. So they believe that they are ready, and also if things go as planned, their aspirants should be able to win this election. Also, Kennedy Ohene Japan has a base in the Ashanti region. He has a camp or an office in the Ashanti region, and that is where they operate directly. And according to them, they are ready for tomorrow's election. They are poised for action tomorrow. So it looks like almost all of the aspirants with camps in the Ashanti region are still finalizing with their preparation for tomorrow, and they are all anticipating victory in tomorrow's election. So tomorrow promises to be a very fiercely contested elected in the Ashanti region, especially with 36,000 delegates or 36,000 votes to fight for in the region.
Thank you so much, Nanai Aljima. He's joined us live from the Ashanti region. From the Ashanti region, let's head now to the northern region and speak to our correspondent there, Martina Bugri. She's on the ground for us. Martina, what's the story in the northern region?
Northern region, people are still campaigning. They are doing the last minute one. But let's look at how the distribution of the materials went this morning. This morning, there was distribution of the materials to the various It was done goodly, except that Kalida had not left. But right now, with cross-checking, I was told that they have the past that of Tatali. All the agents were there at the distribution. There was no problem that came out. So all is sorted for tomorrow. Now, when you come to tomorrow, there will be 3 parameters that will be designated for the exercise. The first parameter, which is the central one, would be for the EC, its officials, and any other issues related directly to the election. Now, the second parameter will be designated for only delegates. So if there's a need,
we ain't some of the team course or channels, Mammy, and Nawas, so Jim Oha. That's an so body, and they don't be a dominion. Yeah, in shim, not inside and smoke one song so crap.